Today, we are here to unveil the People's Manifesto. We know that millions of South Africans and Africans in the continent and the diaspora already know who we are. But it is always important to introduce yourself, because you must not assume people know you. We are the economic freedom fighters, a fearless, militant, radical, and revolutionary economic emancipation movement founded here in South Africa and expanding to various parts of the African continent. We are a socialist, a Pan-African movement that unapologetically fights for the reunification of the African continent. We are the most dependable and reliable weapon in the hands of the oppressed masses of our people. Since our formation on the 26th of July 2013, 10 years ago, we have participated in 4 elections, and we remain the only serious national political organization that continue to grow elections after elections. We fought racism everywhere in South Africa. That's why white people today respect black people, because black people who are disrespected, even at their profession, they simply tell their bosses, we'll call EFF for you. We gave our people hope, and we are the only organization that brought the land question firmly on the table of the politics of South Africa, including taking it to Parliament. We marched with you for the jobs of young people. We shut down South Africa in demands of the resignation of an incompetent president and demanding that load shedding must end. We fought GBV through our established GBV desk at Winnie Madikizela Mandela House. Our saying we're not being managed is not because we hate white people. We're just telling you that we are the only organization in South Africa that is 100% black and African owned. And no white man can claim this organization except black people. We are fighting black people who are standing on our way, being black outside and white inside. Those are sellouts. Like Ramaphosa, when we fight him, we make no apology. We know that we are fighting an evil spirit of a white settler inside Ramaphosa. Let me tell you, some political illiterates are going to celebrate on the 27th of April and say there is Freedom Day. There is nothing freedom about 27 April. Only that we removed apartheid from legislature. But otherwise, apartheid remains deep-rooted amongst our people. Nothing has changed since 1994. 30 years ago, in 1994, majority of land in South Africa were landowners in South Africa were the white colonial settlers. And 30 years later, 2024, the majority of landowners are still the settlers and their biological descendants. 30 years ago, in 1994, the wealth of the country was concentrated in the hands of white majority. 30 years later, the wealth of South Africa is still in the hands of the white minority. 30 years ago, in 1994, more than 90% of informal settlement dwellers, abahlali basemjondolo, were black Africans. And 30 years later, today, informal settlement dwellers still look like me and you. There are no white people in informal settlement. It is still Africans. When they come to us, we must be ready for them. When they say, today is Freedom Day, you must tell them, your freedom is still coming. because 1994 was a missed opportunity. When they say to you, why do you say 1994 is a missed opportunity? You must say, what is freedom without water? What is freedom without houses? What is freedom without flushing toilet? What is freedom without access to quality education and a decolonized education? What is freedom without health care? What is freedom without jobs? What is freedom without basic electricity? What is freedom without land? What is freedom without sanitary pads? What is freedom if you go to bed with an empty stomach? What is freedom without proper roads? What is freedom if you are still giving birth in a shack because in the informal settlements there are no rules? What is freedom if you are still being raped and beaten up without any consequences? What is freedom if you can't move freely at night on your streets because streets have been hijacked by gangsters and criminals? What is freedom without freedom because we are not free? Political freedom without economic freedom is meaningless. Our land and jobs now, stop load shedding. Our land and jobs now, stop load shedding. Our land and jobs now, stop load shedding. The theme and the clarion call for election 2024 is as outlined. The emphasis on land derives from the fact that 30 years down the line, 80% of the land is in the hands of the whites. Jobs is informed by the fact that joblessness in South Africa today sits at more than 15 million people who are capable to work. And our emphasis on now is because our suffering is happening now. We don't have jobs now. We don't have clinics now. We are going to bed hungry now. That's why we must solve all those things now. The emphasis on now is because we cannot postpone the true liberation from apartheid, from economic apartheid. We are not part of the 1994 elite pact. We are not part of CODESA. We don't owe the Boers anything. We never went to CODESA with the Boers. We are a new generation with our own challenges. And therefore, when we say now, we must not apologize because we never promised white people that we'll never take the land. We say load shedding must stop because we are in darkness now. Our manifesto is not a manifesto of promises. Our manifesto is a manifesto of commitments. We are committed to everything we are going to say here. So if you are looking for promises, please look next door. We have no promises. We've got commitments because we are going to implement all what we are saying. This manifesto was not sponsored by a group of small business people and big business people from Stellenbosch. Rupert has got no input in this manifesto. Oppenheimer has got no input in this manifesto. The Minel family have got no input in this manifesto. The IMF and the World Bank have got no input in this manifesto. Tony Blair has got no input in this manifesto. George Soros has got no input in this manifesto because those are the enemies of our people. What is our commitment? We are going to take the land and we are not going to pay a cent. Whether they like it or not, the land will be returned in the hands of our people. We are going back to Parliament to change Section 25 And anyone who thinks he sounds intellectually superior when he says Section 25 allows us to take the land without compensation now. So why are you worried when we make it explicit so that there is no debate about it? We don't need the world for us to industrialize. We must expand our trading with Africa alone. We must trade amongst Africans in order to grow the African economy and create jobs for all Africans. So those companies that are living from Britain, from America, from Europe, you can live with immediate effect. We will get companies from Africa, from Russia, from China. We will rebuild this economy. Our army must fight illegal firearms that are coming inside the country illegally, especially at the border of Kwazulu Natal and Mozambique. All of a sudden, we've got AK-47 in South Africa, yet that has never been a weapon of preference for our people. It comes from the border of Mozambique, and that border will be stopped from bringing illegal firearms into South Africa. Comrades, we are going to have monthly parades on our streets, including visibility of police and soldiers. Today, many of you can tell me that from where you come from until here, you saw a police van. You can't even see a police van on the road. You can't see police on the road. You can't see soldiers on the road. The only thing you see is some deformed traffic officer eating quarter on some corner. So we need police to walk on the streets, to ride bicycles, to randomly come into any social activity and randomly search you and randomly search our houses if they suspect there are illegal firearms in those houses. We must have an annual search of houses and properties, both Africans, coloreds, Indians and whites here in Kwazulu Natal. One day you must just wake up. Police are searching your house and soldiers in search of illegal firearms in this province. There are too many guns in the hands of wrong people in this province. We must go and fetch those guns and go and destroy them because they are killing innocent people. Comrades, we want primary health care. We want to fight common disease. We want to make sure that primary health care is integrated into all sectors of society, sports, education, jobs, and everywhere else. We want to make sure that we establish clinics everywhere, and clinics of South Africa must work 24 hours. We want to make sure that there is a centralized database to ensure that all 62 million people are captured on one central database. And if you take the information of patients from that central database, you'll go to jail for a very long time. Comrades, we need to build 24-hour integrated post-sexual trauma centers because we must make sure that the victims receive service at any time. Comrades, we must make sure that there is no doctor or a nurse in South Africa who graduates and does not get a job. All doctors, 6 months in their community service, they must be placed already When they finish community service, they must go straight into a job. We don't want doctors that are unemployed. How can you be a doctor and be unemployed? That is an insult. Comrades, we are going to increase social grants. We want Abu Gogo and Abu Mkulu to get 4,180 per month. We want veterans to get 4,220 per month. We want child support grant to be increased to 1,200 per month. We want disability, care dependency, and foster care increased. The EFF will introduce a graduate fund. Anyone who get matric and can't get a job will get 1,000 rand. Anyone who get a degree, can't get a job, will get 3,000 rand. Anyone who get an honors without a job will get 4,000 rand. No one must go to school and not get a job or not be paid for not going to school. Disability people are going to be at the center of housing. Disability people are going to be at the center of employment. Every person who's disabled will get a house within a year. We want all unemployed, disabled people, those who have capacity and the qualification to work. In the EFF, there is no lesbian, there is no gay. We are all human beings. The rights of the lesbians and the rights of gays and all LGBTQIA+ are human rights. If you are EFF and you isolate and discriminate LGBTQIA+, you are not a fighter, you are a sellout. What is your issue with people choosing to live their own life? EFF is a war of LGBTQIA+. This is a home of everyone. We must make sure we take the mines and minerals of our country to benefit the people of South Africa. We are going to nationalize the mines on behalf of our people and use the minerals for beneficiation in South Africa. We are going to make sure that we lower the cost of data. Data is expensive in South Africa. Vodacom, we're coming for you. MTN, we're coming for you. We want data to be reduced in South Africa because without information, we are nothing. We want one passport for all Africans. We don't want South African passport. We don't want Malawian passport. We want African passport that allows us to travel Africa without visas. We need peace in Western Africa and in the DRC. We will work with all involved to make sure there is peace. We will revive Pan-African Parliament and make sure we give it teeth. It must be an overarching legislative body that all of us respect. We are on the side of Russia against NATO because NATO is disguising as Ukraine. There is no war between Russia and Ukraine. There is a war between Russia and NATO because NATO wants to come closer to Russia so that it can undermine the sovereignty of Russia. We thank you, the people of South Africa, for loving the people of Palestine. Continue to show them love against apartheid Israel. Palestine is our home, and Palestinians must know they've got a home in South Africa. We will never retreat. We are not scared of the Jewish power. We will never surrender to the Jewish power. We will surrender to humanity. We will surrender to self-determination of the people of Palestine. We will surrender to the independent state of Palestine. We will not allow Netanyahu to commit genocide. We are on the side of Palestine, and please, everywhere else we are, let's remind our people that we are not free if the people of Palestine are not free. The people of Palestine are not against the Jewish nation. The people of Palestine do not want to kill Jewish women and children. The people of Palestine want their self-determination. If there is anyone who's killing innocent people, that's Netanyahu. He's a warlord, an international criminal, and he must be charged. There is no cold weather in the revolution. It is not cold outside the ANC. We have made it warm outside the ANC. It is hot outside the ANC. There is no revolution. There is no rain in a revolution. There is a revolution in the rain. We are not scared of the rain. We are not scared of cold. We are not scared of hot weather. We are ready. The people of South Africa, the people of KZN, we are starting now at Moses Mabhida. We are marching to the Union Building. From now onwards, we are going to stop at the Union Building. I present to you the People Manifesto of the EFF. This is the weapon that will be used against the enemy of our revolution. Fellow fighters, this book is 265 pages. Let's ensure that we download it. Let's ensure that everybody gets to know about what is in the revolution. Amanda! Amanda!
I'm a king, yes, I'm a king, I think I'm a king,